Hi everybody, Dan Illman taking a look at the race of the day for Saturday, December the 28th. It is opening day at Santa Anita, chock full of graded stakes races, including our race of the day, the Grade 1 Brea Stakes for 3-year-old fillies. Before we get to the handicapping, I want to remind you, this is an easy New Year's resolution to keep. Just head on over to shop.drf.com, type in the promo code DRF2020, and take 25% off the entire DRF shop. Let's take a look at the field for the Brea. You can download free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at drf.com. Access them, handicap along with me. We'll take the field in post position order after we look at the Timeform US pace projector for this race, and it has the number 7. That's hard not to love out there on the lead. Hard not to love has speed. But Hard Not to Love showed last time out that she can sit just off the leader, and that's why I think the 3 Free Cover, who is second on the pace projector, is actually going to be the one carving out the fractions after getting involved in a big pace duel last time out in the Raven Run. Your expected big favorite in this race, Bellafina, recently second in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. She's 6th on your pace projector. She's very comfortable in that spot. Maybe she'll be a little bit closer, but we know she can kick from mid-pack. No real concerns where Bellafina is on your pace projector. We'll start the handicapping with the number 1 First Star. This is a very talented and very lightly raced daughter of First Dude, trained by Ron Ellis. Won her first 2 starts, and I really like the way she won start number 2. Optional claiming race going a 2-turn mile at Del Mar. She was wide every step of the way, and by wide I mean 4 wide around both turns, and she gutted it out to win. She came back in the Raven Run. She gave a good performance that day up close to the pace. Don't love her drawing the rail, going 7, but she has enough speed where Drayden Van Dyke can play the break. And I believe Drayden can work out the similar trip that Timeform US has projected for her. Sit in third, maybe in behind the leaders, maybe able to ease out on the backstretch. First Star has done little wrong in her career, and while perhaps she may want to go 2 turns down the road, I think she fits this Brea if Bellafina, the favorite, stubs her toe. Del Mar May, I think, has been brilliantly handled by Richard Baltas. This is a filly. They tried the 8 Bell Stakes fresh off a maiden, and why not? She was grade 2 placed as a 2-year-old as a maiden. Didn't work out in the 8 Bells. They gave her plenty of time to recover. She returned last time out during the Del Mar Fall Meet with this performance in a non-winners of one other than race. We see her gradually easing to the outside in the red noseband. She's very professionally rated behind the pace setters, and considering this is her first start since May 3rd, I like the way she finished this race off. The Beyer speed figure came back a little light, 78. She's obviously going to have to improve from a Beyer standpoint. I don't see why she shouldn't second off the layoff, but it's worth noting her 2 fastest races of her career, and 3 out of her 4 have come at Del Mar. We'll see how she does at Santa Anita. She's only tried it once. Bellafina beat her 31 lengths in the Chandelier. The 3 is Free Cover. We talked about Free Cover as perhaps a horse that's going to be able to get the lead and just draw a line through the Raven Run. The Raven Run featured a torrid pace at Keeneland going 7 furlongs. Free Cover was up and on that pace throughout, and she paid the price. Her prior start, you may want to be forgiving as well. She was in against Cafefi that day. Cafefi, of course, came out of that Dogwood Stakes to win the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. Free Cover's prior race was a nice performance at Ellis Park. She'll be making her first start for Andrew Lerner. We have a formulator fact for the Lerner barn. Over the past 90 days, this barn's been hot, especially with 3-year-olds on the dirt. 3 for 10, $6.27 ROI. Free Cover's going to show some speed. She's going to have to prove it from a class standpoint. The number 4 in here is Stirred. Stirred got a confidence-building win last time out at Golden Gate Fields. We're going to take a look at that race right now. Her prior start, she was 4th in an optional claimer. They got her on the Tapeta surface in here, and Stirred was able to get the job done. She got up close to the pace. Kind of just battles it out all the way down to the wire. She's down on the inside, the number 3. She's very game to win this race. The race came back okay from a fig standpoint in 81, but I wonder if perhaps this daughter of Shaking It Up's just been waiting for a synthetic surface all along. We've seen her on dirt. I kind of feel she's exposed on the surface, and this race was in pace pressing fashion that we just saw. I don't think she has the speed to deal with some of the others in the early portion of the race. Now, she won her career debut from way out of it at Santa Anita. Against these kind of horses, that could be a tall order. Here's the big favorite, Bellafina. This is a multiple Grade 1 stakes winner. They tried to turn her into a Kentucky Oaks horse after she won the Santa Anita Oaks. She's just better at 7 furlongs. This is her distance, and I thought she ran great in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint behind Covfefe. Flavien Prat in the early portion of that race tried to shoot the gap, take the inside route, moved up in the early portion to get right behind 4 horses, and then she was on hold. They turn into the stretch. Flavien had to angle 5 wide. Right here, you're going to see her trying to get to the outside. These horses, Covfefe, the horses in front of her got a big jump, especially Covfefe, who was just the favorite in this race, the horse to beat. But Bellafina shows a lot of heart. She's never quitting. She's getting to Covfefe with each and every stride, and she runs out of racetrack. 105 Beyer speed figure for this race. This is her track at Santa Anita. She's 4 for 5. I really believe this is her distance, and I think she's adaptable to any kind of pace scenario. I thought she ran great in the Breeders' Cup. Again, held up behind horses and forced to go wide, turning for home. Bell's the one, might be the one to beat. Coming out of the Raven Run, and in that race we talked about the pace. And the reason why you might want a horse like First Star coming out of the Raven Run as they turn into the stretch is that First Star was up close to the pace. First Star is making the lead right now. She's been close throughout. She's been chasing outside. She's in front. Bell's the one came from out of it, and Bell's the one's going to make the last move in this race. She's striking the front right now. This is a really solid performance, and it's a key race. 2 horses came out of this race to win, including the 4th place finisher, who returned to win with a 95 Beyer speed figure and a non-winners of 2 other than at Churchill Downs. This is another filly that seems to really appreciate 7 furlongs, but she's also a filly without much speed, and she's going to need some help up front in this race if she's going to be able to run down a horse like Bellafina, who might very well get the jump on her turning into the stretch. Now, we talked about Hard Not to Love. Timeform US believes she'll be forwardly placed. I believe she'll be forwardly placed as well, just not outright on the lead. She began her career in fine fashion with 2 wins. She then was the beaten favorite in a race at Santa Anita, the Angel's Flight. That race preceded a layoff, so I'm not going to hold the Angel's Flight too much against her. I thought she had kind of a difficult trip, didn't break, rushed up, and maybe something happened because something physically might have went amiss. We haven't seen her for a while. She comes back with this race. This is a good comeback race for Hard Not to Love. She's on the outside in the very familiar West Point yellow and black. She strikes the front here, and she has to work. This horse down towards the inside is going to battle her. This horse on the outside is going to battle her. Hard Not to Love, very, very game all the way down to the wire. Career best 86 Beyer speed figure off the layoff. And I like that John Sheriff's has given her a little time off since that race because that was a taxing race off the bench. She's always been meant to be a nice horse. $400,000 daughter of Hard Spun, might get the jump on everybody turning into the stretch, certainly has some price potential. Motion Emotion is a filly that deserved a stakes win last time out in the Zia Park Oaks, and she got it. It was a short field. She sat off of a big pace early, and here's what she did. She turns into the stretch in the Zia Park Oaks. She's taken this thing over already, and she's on her way to win, just holding off the closer at the end of this race. Motion Emotion had run so well during the spring, going fast paces in the Honeybee and the Fantasy, and getting beat both times while arguably running the best race. Again, she deserved a stakes win. She got it here. She was 1 to 5. She moved early into the teeth of the pace. The Beyer came back 77. It was one of those fast early, slow-paced late races. And while Motion Emotion has done good work around 2 turns, I think the 7's going to be very good for Motion Emotion. She can be closer to the pace. She's that fast in middle distance races. I think she can be closer going 7 furlongs. Mother's really interesting for Bob Baffert. This is a really fascinating spot because we haven't seen her since the 8 Bells in May. This is an extremely long layoff and a very tough field. It's not like Baffert didn't know Bellafina was going in this race. He knew. He just likes the way Mother is training. And I'd urge you to check out the Mike Welsh and Company Clocker reports on DRF.com. They're available already for opening day at Santa Anita. Mother shows a couple of bullet workouts in here. She was grade 1 placed as a 2-year-old in the Starlet, graded stakes place this year. I've never been a big fan of this horse, but off the layoff for Baffert in this tough a spot, I think it's saying something. It's saying that Baffert has a lot of confidence in this filly. We'll take a look at my top pick in here. I wish I could get clever. I just think Bellafina's doing what she wants to do. 7 furlongs. I thought she ran great in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Sprint. Going to be my top pick in this race, and I think Bell's the one's going to try to make it close with a late kick along with 5 Star. If I had to go with a price horse in here, maybe the 7. Hard Not to Love off that recent comeback. I still think she's got some upside potential. But Bellafina for me in the race of the day, the Brea, kicking off a pick 5 at Santa Anita on opening day Saturday. It has an approximate post time of 2 o'clock Pacific. Best of luck.